You think rising above the world will set you free? You think becoming more than human is strength? But before Nietzsche ever imagined the Übermensch, Dostoyevsky had already written the warning. A warning that Nietzsche himself couldn't survive. This video isn't about Nietzsche's brilliance, it's about the danger he walked into, a danger Dostoyevsky mapped decades before, because the path to becoming a higher man is not just difficult, it's destructive, it breaks most men, and it broke Nietzsche exactly the way Dostoyevsky predicted. The question isn't whether the Übermensch is possible, the question is whether you can survive the dangers that destroyed Nietzsche. Long before Nietzsche wrote a single word about the Übermensch, Dostoyevsky created a man named Krylov in Demons. Krylov believed if God is dead, then a new kind of human must arise. A human so free, so fearless that he becomes God himself. Sounds familiar? It should. It's Nietzsche's entire project before Nietzsche. But Dostoyevsky wasn't describing a hero, he was describing a psychological collapse. Krylov tries to become God, not by growing stronger, but by rejecting every boundary that makes a human stable. He destroys morality, he destroys meaning, he destroys fear, he destroys everything inside himself until there is nothing left holding him together. And without support, without grounding, without inner order, he breaks. Krylov becomes the first failed Übermensch. Then Dostoyevsky gives you Ivan and the brothers Karamazov. The man who declares if God does not exist, everything is permitted. This philosophy Nietzsche later sharpened, but Dostoyevsky doesn't celebrate it. He shows what happens when a man believes it fully. Ivan's logic is flawless, his reasoning is perfect, his conclusions are pure, and he goes insane because the human mind can't carry infinite freedom without breaking under the weight of it. Again, the warning. Dostoyevsky wasn't done. In Notes from the Underground, he gives you the man who thinks himself above normal life, above society, above morality, above other people. He's free in theory, but in reality, he's paralyzed. He overthinks every moment. He drowns in consciousness. His freedom becomes a prison. Dostoyevsky is telling you if you want to rise above humanity, you must first master being human. Most people skip that step. Nietzsche skipped that step. Then there's Stavrogen, the closest Dostoyevsky ever got to writing an actual Übermensch. Cold, detached, disciplined, free from guilt, free from society, free from limits. But freedom without meaning isn't strength, it's emptiness. And emptiness consumes him until there is nothing left inside. Another warning Dostoyevsky delivered before Nietzsche ever collapsed. Now look at Nietzsche. He wasn't stupid, he wasn't weak. He was brilliant, disciplined, and had a powerful mind. He had no community, no family, no love, no stability, no spiritual root, no psychological guardrails, no embodied strength. Nietzsche tried to carry the godhood alone. And Dostoyevsky had already written the ending to that story. Nietzsche's mind didn't just fade, it broke. Under stress, under isolation, under the weight of his own ideals, under the burden of carrying a world with no God, no meaning, and no limits. His last sane act was embracing a beaten horse and collapsing into the madness that would consume the rest of his life. Exactly the collapse that Dostoyevsky predicted. When you reject all morality without replacing it, you go insane. When you destroy God but fail to become when you break. When you isolate yourself with godlike ambitions, they crush you. You can't become God. Nietzsche didn't fail because the Übermensch is impossible. He failed because he tried to become one without inner architecture strong enough to hold that much freedom. So understand this, the Übermensch is not impossible. It is a real path, it is a real transformation, it is a real ascent, but it is deadly. It requires discipline you've never seen. It requires grounding in something higher than ego. It requires order, balance, meaning, responsibility, not just rebellion, not just destruction, not just no rules. What destroyed Nietzsche is exactly what Dostoyevsky tried to warn you about. Unlimited freedom without inner strength will collapse the mind. If you try to rise above humanity without mastering yourself, you will fall below humanity. So don't misread Nietzsche and don't ignore Dostoyevsky. To become more than human, you must build a foundation stronger than the world. You must conquer the chaos inside yourself before you try to conquer the meaning of existence. Because the path upward is real, the Übermensch is real, the ascent is possible, but Nietzsche proved this truth with his own life. If you try to become a god before you learn how to be a man, you will break exactly the way Dostoyevsky warned.